everybody. My name is Miss DiBiase, and today we are going to learn how to do attachment techniques. During this lesson, you will be able to learn how to possibly make buildings freestanding up on your paper. You can also get your paper to stand up and do just some abstract sculpture pieces. But I'm going to show you at least 3, maybe 4 techniques that you can use to build any kind of structures that you would like. First of all, you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need glue stick, not necessarily a marker, but you are going to need to use paper. I found some of this paper that I can use for attachment. If you want color paper, you can also use construction paper. Any old paintings or drawings that you don't like, you can cut those up and practice those techniques with it. If you're wanting a certain building, then you can do drawings on it. If you wanted brick, if you wanted just a siding with a door, if you just wanted plain color, you can do anything you would like. Not having construction paper in my house during this time that we are away from school, I created my own colors with color pencils. So you can use just about anything that you would like around your house. You can even use cards. You can use any papers that have a print on it that would be pretty for your buildings. But I'd advise you just to take plain paper today just to practice the techniques. You can have a building or you can have a structure in mind that you might like to use or build after you learn these techniques. Let's see. Let's first start with, we don't have to be too perfect about it. Just go ahead. And you don't want your paper to be too big. Again, we're practicing the techniques. So I am going to cut this into a smaller piece. Okay, one of the first fundamental basic ways to attach paper, you can't attach paper when it has a thin edge like this. You have to create what we call a foot. So you can bend your paper, fold it, so it becomes a foot. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your glue stick, glue it down, and then place it on your paper, holding the foot down. Sometimes you need to put a little bit more glue on it. Sometimes you need to hold it for about 20 seconds, but it should be freestanding so that if you turn your paper over, it should stay on it, upright. Alright, that is the first one, building foundations. The second technique that I'm going to show you is I'm going to take kind of the same paper. This time I'm going to repeat what I did in the first one, make a foot. And then I'm going to take it and fold it in half. This is going to give me a nice corner when I do it. Open it up and then cut only at the foot. Make sure you cut on that line. Then what we're going to do, glue it down. Turn it so it becomes a corner. Again, hold the foot down. Make sure it's firm. And then as you can see, it should stay up on your paper. Again, if it doesn't, you just need to repeat the process. You can see how this is standing up nicely. So you can kind of see how you can start to build a building just from these 2 steps. You can combine them. I could take this one and put it along this line here to make a longer wall. Alright, so our third technique, you're going to do the same thing. Small piece of paper at first. Make a foot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, and what will be added to the foot are tabs. So I'm cutting not a whole bunch, but 3 or 4 lines. I'm just cutting them randomly. You're going to take one and bend it to one side, and every other one bend it this way. So now you have a tab section. So this is where you apply the glue on the tabs. Make sure you have plenty of them. And then this will allow you to manipulate the paper a little bit better. So you can take it, press it down, curve it around so that you have like a curved freestanding wall. Once you put a bend in the paper or a curve, it has a lot of pressure to it and it wants to come back up. So you kind of have to be patient holding these down. As you can see now, you can hold your paper up and it's staying without falling off. You've done a good job. Alright, the fourth technique, and again, this is the first technique, second one, third. We're basically repeating that first one, just changing it just a little bit each time we work with it. Alright, so I'm going to need a little bit more paper on this, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece. This time, you're going to repeat making a foot. Then you're going to cut some tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got about 5 there. And this time you can either take your paper and make a tube out of it and fold your tabs on the inside and glue it down, or you can take it, and I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to put a good amount on the edge. You have to make sure it's glued down pretty good. Music is a little dramatic today. That's alright. So I'm going to hold this down pretty good. Take your time with it. Make sure you glue it good. Don't get frustrated if it pops open. Just repeat that process. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on each tab. Really good. Have to get that under one also. Okay. Then I'm going to take it, swing it apart a little bit, and I'm going to hold it down. You can count to about 20 seconds. And then my kids, when I'm counting 20 seconds, I don't do 20 seconds for each one because that takes up a lot of time. You just basically want to see me do this, and then you want to get to it yourself. Now I'm kind of going quickly through these demonstrations. You can slow this down any time. You can watch the full demonstrations and then try to recall and see what I did and try to remember it. A good thing about videos is you can back them up and play them again if you missed a certain part. That often doesn't happen in class, but that's where the teacher comes around and maybe gives you a little bit of individual instructions. Alright, so now you can see on my paper I have all these freestanding structures. I could do an abstract sculpture piece. I could make a building out of it. I could do just about anything I wanted to. Alright, so I'm going to go on to the next one and kind of show you some things that you might come around if you're doing your own building and some problems that you might incur as you start to construct it. Alright, so I'm going to get some paper cut up. If you were doing a building, it's probably good to decide on how many walls you're going to have and then try to make them the same height, because it is very hard to trim things once they're attached to your paper. It's very difficult to draw on this thing. So if you're needing it drawn out, if you're needing a door, if you're needing windows, whatever, you'll need to do that while it's flat and not attached. So you want to plan that out. You might want to write it down and make notes. I want a building, I want to have 2 windows, I want to have a door, I want to have a roof. That way you start to figure out what you're going to need to do before you actually start to attach it. Because it gets extremely difficult to figure things out once you do that. Alright, so again, this is attachment techniques. Okay, on this first one here, I think I'm going to do a basic building. I'm running out of room here. I'm going to do the first technique that I did. I'm going to set it up, glue it down, and I'm just going to keep doing that same basic technique to make my walls. Glue it down. And then start to build it up here. Line it up properly. Glue it down. This is probably one of the most common things I see from kids is they will start to construct their walls and then they have this corner thing that they have to worry about. So you probably want to problem solve as to how you can fix that. You can fix it by doing any of these techniques. If you wanted to, you could actually create a corner like this one here and glue it in there to make it a strong wall and that it sticks together and doesn't gap apart. As you can see, it's gapping apart there. Alright, the next thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a small tab. So I just need a thin piece of paper. Make sure it's about the same height. It needs to be cut down slightly. I'm going to make sure it doesn't go above my wall, and it's about the same. I can fold it in this way and then attach it, but I'm going to do a smaller tab. I'm sorry, I'm new to this video stuff, and so sometimes I look and I am completely off the screen. Provide you lots of problem solving on your own. Alright, so I'm going to glue both sides. I've already folded it down the middle so I know where my corner is going to be. As you can see, I folded it. Now I've glued it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it into the corner here. Paper is delicate, so it can bend easily, so you want to be really delicate with it. So now I have my wall standing up with the corner gapping all gone. And then I can repeat on this side also. So if by chance you have already used up your paper or you messed it up, then you want to kind of guess how large your wall is going to be. Go from there. Make a foot. I messed up on my wall, so what I'm going to do is, see, I mess up too. You just go with it. So I forgot about my foot, took the height off of it. Okay, if you mess up, just keep going. The wonderful thing about art is you mess up, you problem solve. Figure out how to fix it. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to attach it to my wall over here. Some of you all, if you're really, really good at it, you'll probably be making some castles, I don't know, if you're into barnwood builders, maybe a barn or something. And so I have my third wall coming up here. I am going to repeat the same process of building a corner. I've got it measured out, but this time I'm just going to fold it in half using a little bit thicker paper than I used on this one. You can see this one's kind of short. That's okay. Glue it on the inside. And then I'm going to reinforce it on the outside. Hold it together. Now, ask yourself, could she have stuck it on the inside and done the same thing and achieved the same thing? Yes. So you may be inventing your own way of how to structure your wall. Alright, so that is 1, 2, 3 walls that we have there. I'm going to stop it from there. I'd like you to create your own. I would love to see some of your all's artwork if you could show it to me. Let's see here. If not, that's okay too. Hopefully we will find a way that you can show us your artwork and we can post it up there for everybody to see. Anyways, you all take care. Wash your hands and enjoy building your own buildings out of paper, scratch paper, and again, you can design your own wall colors. Bye-bye.